Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Well done for your maths learning from yesterday. Now, money is a really tricky thing to learn about, so don't worry if you are finding it quite tough, because as long as you are practicing, I promise you that it will get easier and easier. So today we're going to be carrying on learning about different kinds of money that we use in England. And today we are going to be looking at banknotes. Okay, yesterday we were looking at coins and today is notes. But before we go on to notes, we are just going to recap the coins a little bit. So, what are these coins and what is their value? Okay, what you can do is pause the video and have a go at looking at them and guessing them. Right, if you pause the video, welcome back, and we are going to have a little look now and see if you were right. So I'm going to start over here. Which one is this? It's gold and silver coloured, it's round and it's big. It is a £2 coin and it was worth £2. What about this little one down here, this silver one with a little 5 on it there? It's the tiniest one, tiniest coin, and it is worth 5p, 5 pence. What about this big one up here, this big silver one? It says here 50 pence, and we can see there is 50 on there. Okay, so that is 50p, worth 50 pence. Again, up here we've got one. It's not round this time, is it, this coin? Which one is this? This is our 20p. What about this one? This one's nice and clear. That is our 10p. Over here, we've got our 2 copper coloured ones, haven't we? Can you remember what these are? This one is 1 penny, 1p. This one is 2p. And last but not least, down here, we've got another one, which is gold and silver. Bit similar to this one, but it's different shape and a different size, and it is worth less. It is £1, okay, or £1 coin. So well done if you've got all of those. Now we are going to be moving on to notes. So have a look at the notes on the screen. What notes are they? What kind of banknotes are they? What do you notice about them? Do you know anything about them already? And using what we know about coins already, how can we identify these notes here in front of us? Okay, so we've got altogether 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, and underneath we've got another 4. But what these are here underneath is the other side of the banknote. So like we've got 2 different sides of the coin, we've got 2 different sides of the banknote. So this one here, this is the front of it, and if you were to turn it round, it would look like this. We are going to have a little look at these notes together over on this page. So here I've got this note. Which one is this? I'm sure you can see, have a look at the numbers, have a look at the writing. We have got a £5 note. You can see the number up there, and down here it says in quite swirly writing £5. On the front of our notes, on all of them, there is who? That is Queen Elizabeth, our current queen, and it's her face that we have on all of our coins as well. She is on all of our money in the United Kingdom. So we're going to have a little look, and the good thing about this is that we can turn the note around. It's exciting. And on the back, that is what the back of the £5 note looks like. We've got this man here who was a prime minister quite a long time ago, and he was called Winston Churchill, okay, and he was very famous, and that is why he is on our money. He is only on the £5 note. So remember that, he looks a bit grumpy, doesn't he? And he is on our £5 note. So on one side, we have the Queen of England. And the other side, we have Winston Churchill. Okay, and on both sides, it tells us that it is £5. It is worth £5. Okay. And the £5 note is kind of this greeny blue colour. Okay, next up, we are looking, so we can just see here quickly. Here's our £5 note. There's the Queen, and there you can see Winston Churchill. Next up, we're going to be looking at this one, sort of yellowy coloured note. You might be able to spot on here which note you think it is and how much money you think it is worth. Let's explore on this website here. So this is our £10 note. Okay, and you can see that on the front there, it looks quite similar to our £5 note, doesn't it? We've got things sort of laid out in the same order. We've got the number, the value of the note over here on this side, and we've got the same picture of the Queen. We've got the same writing, but instead of saying £5, it tells us that this is £10. Okay. And then on the other side, who do we have on our £10 note? Oh, it told us there. This is Jane Austen. Okay, so she was a very famous writer. She wrote lots of very famous books. And so that is why she is on our £10 note. Okay, and it's the same as Winston Churchill. We've got the picture of her and then the amount of money that this note is worth at the top. And our £10 note is this sort of yellowy colour. So our £5 note was that greeny blue, and this £10 note is a sort of yellowy orange colour. Okay, right, off we go. Back to our board. There we can see the Queen on our £10 note, and we can see Jane Austen there. Next up, this one. Now, I wonder if you can guess the note we are going to see. Some of you can probably see that on the screen, but the writing is quite tiny. So off we go, back to the Bank of England to have a look at our next note, which is our £20 note. Okay, and our £20 note is this lovely kind of purpley colour. Again, what are the similarities of our £20 note to the £5 notes and the £10 note we've looked at before? The same kind of layout, isn't it? We've got our value up here. We've got our Queen, and then we've got that swirly writing again down here that tells us in words that this is worth £20. Should we see who's on the back of the £20 note? This is a man called Adam Smith. Okay, and he was a writer and philosopher, and he did lots of important work and research a very long time ago in England. So he is on the back of our £20 note. Maybe not quite as easy to remember, but he doesn't look quite as grumpy as Winston Churchill. And can you remember which note Winston Churchill was on the back of? He's on the back of our £5 note, isn't he? That bluey green one. Okay, so here's our £20 note. What do you think the difference between the notes is in terms of their value? Which one do you think is worth the most? Is it going to be the £5 note, the £10 note, or the £20 note that we have looked at so far? What do we know about numbers? We know that they get greater the further we move up our number lines. Okay, so is the number 5 or the number 20 greater? It's going to be our number 20, isn't it? Because we know that 5 is only this much, 5 fingers on our hand. But 20, that's 10 fingers. And then another 10 fingers is going to give us 20. So that is a lot more than 5, isn't it? So 20 pounds is worth more than 5 pounds. What about 10? What is greater, 10 or 20 pounds? It's still going to be 20, isn't it? Because we know that 20 is a larger number than 10. But 10 is a larger number than 5. So our £10 note's kind of in the middle. And the last one we're going to look at very quickly, because we've got quite a lot to whiz through today, but I think it's quite fun to have a look at them on the website. Here is our £50 note. Now, these are quite special, these £50 notes. We don't see them all the time. You might have seen £5, £10, £20 notes before, but £50 notes are quite rare, because £50 is quite a lot of money, and not many people carry around £50 notes. But here we go, let's have a look. So what do you notice about the £50 note? Any similarities to the other notes? Any differences? Well, it's a different colour, isn't it? It's kind of a red colour now, but it's still the same kind of layout. Things are in the same place as they are on the other notes. So it tells us the value up here, the value in words, and we've got the same picture of the Queen on the front in the same place. Let's spin it around. See who's on the back of this. So these two gentlemen are called Matthew Bolton and James Watt. And they were very important in our Industrial Revolution, which was a long time ago, but that's when we kind of began to make things in factories, and we began to make cars and things like that. So it was a very, very long time ago. But those are the two people on the back of our £50 note. Let's spin it around. Anything else? There we go. Lovely. And if you are really interested in having a look at these different notes, you can just go on the website, the Bank of England, and you can have a look at these banknotes, and you can find out different things about them as you spin them around. It gives you different bits of information. But really, all we want to know is what they are and how much they are worth, which we hopefully now do. We've got our 5, 10, 20 and 50, and 50 is worth the most because 50 is the greatest number out of all of these. Right, let's have a look. This one, oh, I can see it's greeny blue. I can see a number at the top. Who's this? A queen, and it is £5, isn't it? Okay, now let's have a look. Next one. £10. Can you remember what colour our £20 note was? Remember, we have a bluey one, a yellowy one. Next, our £20 note was purple coloured, wasn't it? Let's have a look. See if you were right. Yeah. And our £50 note is that red coloured one down there, isn't it? Right, well done. Off we go. Next thing. What is the value of each note? Okay, now, I'm sure you know this because you are all superstars when it comes to things like this. How much is our £5 note worth? Okay. The clue is in the name, isn't it? It is worth £5. So those golden and silver £5 coins that we saw right at the start. Let's go back quickly to see. Here we go. This pound, here's our pound coin. So our £5 note is worth 5 of these. And let's go back. Find, here we are. So it is worth £5. What about this one? Our red coloured note. How many pounds is this note worth? We can see, can't we? It's worth £50. Yeah? So that is the same as having 50 of those golden pound coins. Yeah? This one is 10. And this one, 20. Okay? Now, here I have got one £10 note. And that is equal to the same amount of how many £5 notes? So I've made some of my own banknotes here, okay, because unfortunately I don't have lots of banknotes at home. But I've made a £5 note, I've done my 5 up here, and I've done my queen here on this side. So I've got a £5 note, and then I've also done a £10 note. Yeah, there's my £10 note. So on our screen, it is telling us to have a look and see what we think. How many fives are there in the number 10? Now this is quite tricky, so let's have a think. We know that 5 is a smaller number than 10. Okay, so we've got £5. Then if we had another £5 note, how much money would that give us? That would give us £10, wouldn't it? £5 note is 5. So if I had 2 £5 notes here, it's the same as having one £10 note. Okay? So if Miss T had 2 £5 notes and I had one £10 note, who has the most money? Neither of us. We've got exactly the same. We both have £10. Okay, so in here, we know that one £10 note equals how many £5 notes? 2. Okay, now here we've got one £20 note. I've made my own £20 note as well. Can't spend this one in the shops. But I've got one £20 note. And one £20 note is going to be the same as how many £10 notes? Well, we know that 10 plus another 10 makes how much? 10 plus 10 makes 20, doesn't it? So, one £20 note and two £10 notes, is that an equal value? Are they of equal value if I have 2 of these and 1 of these? Yeah, exactly the same as our working out before. So here we go. One £20 note equals 2 £10 notes. Right, now here we are. Me and Miss T have got some money. So I've written, Miss Costello has this much money in her purse. How much money have I got there in my purse? Have a look at the notes. Which ones are they? Are they all the same? They are, aren't they? They're all the same. They're all that bluey green colour. What can I see that tells me what note it is? I can see the Queen's face, and up here I can see the number 5, okay? So I've got 3 £5 notes in my purse. Miss T over here has got just 1 note in her purse. Okay, and what note has she got in there? Have a look. And then I would like you to think about who has the most money. And how do you know? So you might have to do a bit of adding up here. You might want to pause the video and add up how much money I've got in my purse and how much money Miss T has in her purse. Because in my purse, I've got 3 £5 notes, which means I'm going to have 5 plus 5 plus 5. Okay. So we know that 5 plus 5 is 10, don't we? So that's these two added up. 5 plus 5 is 10. Yeah, so we know we can do that in here in our part-whole model. 5 and 5 make 10. And then if I add that other 5 on, 10 plus 5, can hold 10 in our heads, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, okay? So how much money do I have in my purse altogether? I have £15. 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. Okay, now how much money has Miss T got in her purse? She's only got 1 note. So does that mean that she has less money than I do? Because I have got 3 notes in my purse. Her note is worth £20, isn't it? She's got £20 in there. Now, if Miss T has £20 in her purse, and I have £15 in my purse, who has got the most? Which of those numbers is the greater number? Which has got the highest value? It's 20, isn't it? So even though I have 3 banknotes in my purse and I've got more banknotes than Miss T does, her 1 banknote is worth more than all of my money put together. Okay? Right, let's have a look here. Sam, here's Sam, and he's very kind. He's got £10, okay? And he lent Lulu, over here, £5 so that she could go to the cinema. What combination of money could Sam lend Lulu? What kind of money? Could he give her coins? Could he give her notes? So he's going to lend Lulu £5. He could give her a £5 note, couldn't he? If he was going to lend her £5. Or he could give her 1, 2, 3, 4, £5 coins. That's going to equal the same amount of money. That's the same value. Okay, so, need to get back to my. So Sam lends Lulu £5, but he had £10 to start with. So how much money has he got left? If he originally had 10, and then he gave away 5, didn't he? Because he got rid of £5 because he lent it to Lulu. We know 10 take away 5 equals 5. So how much money has Sam got left after lending Lulu £5? He has got £5. pounds, hasn't he? Okay. What notes are these? Have a quick look. Look at the colours. What can you spot on there that's going to show you which different notes those are? Well, I've made this one quite easy for you, haven't I? I've left a lot there for you to see. Is that greeny blue colour? On the back, we've got Winston Churchill. On the front, we've got the Queen. It is £5. There's our value up there. Now, what about this one? It's that orangey colour. £10. Right. I'd like you to pause the video here and see how many notes there are of each different value. Okay, have a look at that pile and see how many you can find of each. And then when you press play again, I'll have written the answers and you will be able to see if you were right. Okay, so here we go. We've got how many £5 notes? Remember, £5, that greeny colour. 1, 2, 3, 4. I spotted 4 £5 notes in there. How many £10? That yellowy colour, isn't it? £10. There's only one £10 note I can spot in there. 20. 20 is that purple colour. 1, 2. I can see two £20 notes and I can see one £50 note. Okay, so well done if you've got all of those right. If not, don't worry, just go back, check, and redo some of your answers if you need to. Okay, this is going to be the last thing that we do because I realise I'm giving you lots of information here. Okay, so I've got some books, okay, and they are £5 each. Okay, so this one book is worth £5, this red book is worth £5, and my green book is worth £5. Which of my banknotes could buy me the greatest number of books, the biggest amount of books? If I had a £5 note and the books are £5 each, £5 for one book, how much could my £5 note buy me? How many books? It can buy me one book, can't it? We don't need the S on the end of there. So £5 can buy one book. Let's have a look here. So we know that two £5 notes is the same value as one £10 note. Okay, so I've got two £5 notes. I have £10. How many books could a £10 note buy us? If a £5 note can buy us one book, a £10 note could buy us how many? It can buy us two books, can't it? Because our books are worth £5 each. So we got 1, 2, 2 books in there. £10 can buy us 2 books. What about £20? £20 is worth the same amount of money as two £10 notes. Two £10 notes equals £20. One £20 note equals £20. It's the same amount of money. These groups here that I'm drawing around, that is the same value. If your mum had two £10 notes and your dad had one £20 note, would they have the same amount of money? Yes, they would. So, how many books can £20 buy us? Oh, this is a tricky one. Pause the video, see if you can work it out. £20 can buy us 4 books. Okay, the books are £5 each. We've got 5. Oh, I've not got my 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Now I'm writing this in a really bad way. You should never write your number sentences out like that. So I'm really being very naughty there, but I don't have very much space. Okay, so 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20. Okay, this is quite complicated. So if you don't quite understand this bit of it, don't worry. Okay, the work in your books isn't going to be as tricky as this. This is just because you need to begin thinking about the different values of the notes. So here we go. Your job today is to complete worksheet 2 in this chapter. So it's going to be pages 122 to 124 in your books. It's very similar to the work you did yesterday on the coins. You're going to be looking at the notes, seeing which ones you recognize, and you're going to be finding, you're going to be labeling some of the notes and finding out how many you can see in the picture. Okay, so take your time, don't rush, use any resources that you need to at home. Maybe you've got some notes that you could borrow to help you out. Maybe you could make some like I did to help you if that's going to work, or you can use the video slides again to support. You don't need to post your learning on Dojo, but you can if you would like to, and I will put some extra challenges on the Google Drive as always. Right, well done everybody. That was a long one today, but I hope it makes it easier for you to understand all the different values of the notes and money. I will see you tomorrow. Good luck and goodbye.